everybody, it's Paige Evans and I have a new process video to share with you today. This is using my new Turn the Page collection with Pink Paislee and fussy cutting. So I always love to include a pattern paper that's perfect for fussy cutting, and this one is paper number 15, again from my Turn the Page collection. So the first step is to cut out all the flowers. I think I cut out all of them except for those teeny tiny little trios of white flowers. But me and my husband, we parked ourselves at my computer. We were watching the latest episode of The Bachelorette, and while doing so, I was cutting out all these flowers. So it's a great way to multitask if you're just watching TV, or maybe if you're on an airplane or riding in the car if you don't get too car sick. Fussy cutting is a great way to get some scrapbooking done. So first thing I did was loosely cut around each flower, and then I went back in and did the actual fussy cutting. I used my favorite pair of fine-tipped scissors from American Crafts, bonus points because they're pink, and I think it took me about 2 hours to cut out all of these flowers and leaves. Didn't end up using most of the leaves. I used a few of the blue leaves, didn't use any of the yellow leaves, and I used probably 95% of the flowers. So all in all, it was totally worth it. I wanted to make a big pile of flowers and then cover them with the title Love. And at this point, I'm trying to figure out which background I'm going to create the layout on. So I brought a few options to the table from Turn the Page. I liked this purple ombre. It's kind of a purpley pink. So I'm loosely placing the flowers in the arrangement that I want them to go eventually. And I'm going to place the die cut title on top to see which version I like better, to see if I like this background, and so basically just playing right now, figuring things out. While I do love this love, I decided to go with the individual sans serif letters. I don't know, maybe because the flowers are kind of more delicate, so I like the contrast of the delicate flowers with the not necessarily rough-edged, but you know, straight-lined letters with the flowers, if that makes sense. All right, so for the background paper, I decided to go with paper number 9. This is the B side of paper number 9, and I like the contrast. I like how the dark background makes the flowers pop off the page. Okay, so you know I love hand stitching. Had to add a little bit of hand stitching. So I am piercing holes every 1/4 inch or so around all the letters and using white DMC embroidery floss to backstitch around all the letters. And this just gives them a more definitive edge, creates some texture, and yeah, I just really love the way hand stitching looks. Using a photo of my darling daughter Jane. This was taken in Le Mans Saint-Michel in Normandy, France. And again, just kind of figuring out the placement, and then I decided I wanted to create a little bit of a mixed media background. So I'm applying some gesso with a spatula, little scraping tool, and yeah, just swiping it across. I kind of made the area bigger than I meant to, but it's all good. Most of it gets covered up with the flowers anyway. But this, again, just helps the flowers pop off the background and creates another layer of, well, just another layer. More layers equals more fun. And this is Gesso by Liquitex. And then I'm going to add more pops of color with watercolors. These are from Low Cornell that I just got from Amazon. It's a pretty cheap set, but they work marvelously, so I love them. I'm trying to mix colors to match the Turn the Page collection. So I mixed that yellow, now I'm mixing a pink, and I'm using a paintbrush to splash, splash, splash all around the page. And again, most of it gets covered up by the flowers. That's okay, you'll be able to see the little paint splotches peeking out from underneath the flowers here and there. So definitely worth the time invested to do this. It would also be fun to do the packaging technique on this, which is when you apply it to plastic packaging and splotch it down onto the page, so that's another option. Used a hairdryer to make it dry, And now I'm going to add all the flowers using glue dots. So I'm starting with the biggest flowers, which are these pink ones, spacing them pretty evenly. And then I'll go in with another color of flowers, so the blue ones, I think are the next biggest, and then the yellow and red ones, and fill in the spaces with the white and dark blue flowers. And I just tried to use all of them. I wanted to, since I spent the time to cut them all out, I wanted to add them all. I think I had a handful of flowers left, and that's okay. I can use them on a future project, so it's still worth it. Just finishing it up, adding a few more flowers, and then done a couple things off camera, like adding the photo and title in place, and then I'm creating more of a title with the pattern thickers and the floral alphabet sticker from the sticker book, adding a wood veneer leaf to the side, and a little piece of the scalloped floral washi below the title. I added one of the fancy paper clips, and that's a journaling spot that I tucked underneath. For the journaling, I printed it on plain white cardstock, and now I'm going to trim it into strips and adhere it around the title. So the title is kind of a cluster. Everything is clustered right here in the center, so that's where your eye is immediately drawn to. I hope you are inspired to try fussy cutting, especially with this paper number 15 from my Turn the Page collection with Pink Paislee. And as always, thanks so much for watching. If you have any questions, please be sure to ask them and I will get back to you right away. And have a wonderful day.